Yo guys, what's up? In this video, I'm going to illustrate a problem that if you are someone who is ENTP and are obsessed with just gathering information, you're just watching videos on how to do stuff, but never actually doing stuff, or or you are just gathering how to solve problems, but when the problem appears, you're not able to do much, and the same problem keeps repeating. You know what I mean? Here, this is an interview conducted by my friend Reggie, and you can check his YouTube channel. Just search Reggie Cast in YouTube, and all his videos should pop up. In this video, Rose asked him a very good question about how do you know if the concept you're collecting has the sensory or not. Like, listen to this, and if he'll tell you the problem in a very clear way, and I really love the way he articulated it.
And the evidence supporting that and all that. But it's like at the end of the day, I'm like I listen to him and I'm like, okay, I can reasonably see people act this
He's talking about Jordan Peterson, by the way.
way. Like, so I don't need too much proof. I'm just gonna trust it and then just run with it.
But would the downside of that be that if that sensory came by, that it would, how do you know what concept is fitting the sensory that's coming by your face if you're not collecting the examples in the sensory?
There you go.
How do I know that? Can you repeat that? How do I know that?
Like how do you know that that intuition fits the sensory that's happening to you, right? You know, how are you connecting?
Oh no, so there's that's where the disrespect is coming, right? Like it may not fit the sensory of, like, it may not fit my experience right now, but my Annie has faith that it will eventually. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna take it. Like,
yeah.
you know?
Okay, interesting. Well, your worldview would technically be built off SI too.
Yeah, I think so. But I think and this kind of goes into a conversation we'll probably have later, revisit. But to spark notes it, you talked about how that the NE's path to SI is going to be very different than the SI's path to the NE. It's not going to look the same. I think you are right in the sense of every time I built my worldview, it started with a concept. And then I eventually found sensory to support or deny it. And so I'm filtering down that way. But there's all of my SIs have an any concept connected to it. Right? Yeah. It's not like I just gather SIs. That's random. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, it's always connected to a concept. So it's always fused.
Man, that sounds lovely. Sometimes I like what happens with me is like sometimes sensory is coming by and I'm like, I need to process later what the hell that was, and I need to put it in a intuitive bucket somewhere.
Yeah.
You know? But I guess your problem would be, have you ever learned that you put the sensory in the wrong intuitive category? Like your intuitions were wrong about the sensory?
My gut is telling me I should say yes to this. Like, I mean, but I think the more honest answer is that a lot of the times I don't process what, like, the more accurate thing is I don't process what SI, like, what my experience is actually fitting. So it's just unprocessed, right? It's sleep last.
Yeah, so here's the problem, right? So listen very carefully.
It's just I don't know where anything goes. I have a plethora of intuitive buckets to, like, trust me. I got buckets for days. Like, but it's a matter of, Reggie, did you actually take the time and like put your sensory experience in the right spots so that you can get the insight? I have the insights in here, but I'm not connecting my experience to them. So that's why I run around in circles. So
this is why. This is why we all get stuck, because you have all that insights in your head, but realizing the insights is a totally different journey. Now, in OPS, if you are familiar with it, there is consume and then there is sleep. The way I see consume right now is just that you're watching videos and you're literally taking information in. So in spirituality, I watch Alan Watts, Ram Dass, and I'm like listening to what they're saying. I'm understanding their insights. Oh, this is also a possible insight to have. Okay, store it in my brain. All right. But what he's saying is that you are not mapping your sensory to the inside, which is where the problem arises. Because the problem really is that, at least for me, is that the consuming the information is the uh, understanding part of the equation, but the realization part of the equation is realizing, oh, you too have a negative belief system, and the insight basically is a better way for you to live, and you having that entire realization, and that is the processing where, oh yeah, people could be messed up this way, is understanding, but realizing, oh my god, I am messed up this way. So how do I, and you already, because you concept, you already know how to change. So changing would be like super easy. It's like, oh, I know what I should be like. So because you know what you should be like, that's where the sleep processing comes, realizing that you are doing something, and it's not just that it's happening outside, it's actually happening within you, and you are doing it, and that's where the sleep process comes in, and that's where the realization aspect comes in. So let me just rewind and listen to what Reggie says very carefully, because that's literally the problem statement.
It's a matter of, Reggie, did you actually take the time and like put your sensor experience in the right spots so that you can get the insight?
So that you can get the insight. So you have all the possible insights that you could have, but to get it is to realize that you are messing up some way, and that insight is basically that is the key that unlocks the golden door. But for you to know that the door is locked first, requires introspection. Don't worry about the analogy. What I'm basically saying is, you have to look inwards into your personal life and see, okay, where am I messing up? And you have a plethora of insights in your arsenal. So you have to see, okay, I have a problem right now. Which insight solves the problem? Let's say problem was a closed door, and you have a lot of keys. So you have to know, oh, which insight opens the key. And once the door opens, I want to say insight, you get the insight, you realize the insight, it will become a part of your identity, and that's where the sleep processing aspect of comes in. Understanding is not a part of your identity. It's more like, oh, this could be a possible identity I could have, I could choose to, but making it a part of your identity requires you to requires you to realize that, oh, I messed up this way, and here's the insight that save you, and then that insight will become part of your identity. That entire process is sleep process. Over the next couple of months, I figured out a sleep process that works for me, but it's very hard to articulate it. But understanding the problem solution is super easy. Trust me, you can find out the solution like this. But understanding what exactly is the problem is super important. And that's it for this video. I hope, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you relate with this? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.